We're entering a new golden age for Star Wars, at least when it comes to movies. But video games though, oh boy, there's a bunch of poo-doo to wade through. And because I'm a sucker for anything with a Star Wars on it, I've played a bunch while wearing my Jedi bathrobe and drinking from my Kylo Ren sippy cup. So let me share with you some of the shittest Star Wars games I've ever played as I try to justify my poor decisions. What better way to start off this list than with my first shit Star Wars game, Masters of Terras Cussi on PS1. After playing this game on Boxing Day '98, I handed over 99 of my hard-earned Christmas dollars and experienced true, deep regret at 11 years old. Star Wars Masters of Terras Cussi is a 3D fighting game, similar in style to Tekken or Soul Calibur, and it's set between the events of A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. Now, let's forget for a second the many narrative issues with this game, like the fact you can fight as characters that, timeline-wise, don't fit, like Bounty Hunter Leia and Emo Luke, or that this game is set after the destruction of the first Death Star, and yet the Endor stage clearly shows a nearly complete Death Star 2.0. Likewise, let's forgive its many technical shortcomings like slow and erratic frame rate, and shocking camera that likes to frame crotch and or butt. And while we're at it, let's not mention the basic clunky controls. The real problem with Masters of Terras Cussi is that it has some of the worst balancing of any fighting game I've ever played. Luke can throw his lightsaber, which is unblockable and hits for half health. Han Solo can shoot first for an insane amount of damage, and Boba Fett can do this missile barrage thing that just annoyingly juggles you in the air. At least there couldn't be anything worse than a stormtrooper blocking a lightsaber with their fists, right? Right? Oh, Kinect Star Wars. A game that missed the mark by so many parsecs, it was operating in a galaxy so far away, it was likely to run into the Yuuzhan Vong. Billed as a game wherein players assume the role of a Jedi Master, instead it's a collection of mediocre minigames with a Star Wars on it. Ever wanted to dance on Bespin to the Star Wars universe's equivalent of Eat It by Weird Al Yankovic? Or maybe you thought Star Wars Racer in the arcade was hindered by its reliance on physical controls for precise turning and acceleration. Well, this is the collection of flailing minigames for you. Kinect Star Wars campaign Jedi Destiny Darkside Rising casts players as a Padawan hoping to become a Jedi Knight in between the events of Episode 1 and Episode 2. Initially, moving your arms around to swing your lightsaber and force push stuff is great fun. Then you're sent to Kashyyyk and it all falls apart. Groups of droids surround you, so naturally, you start attacking them as quickly as you can. Unfortunately, the Xbox 360 Kinect can't keep up with quick movements, and you'll be faced with a choice. Slow down and make precise, purposeful gestures to play the game correctly, or just flail around like a maniac and achieve the same result. In the end, Kinect Star Wars was about as well received as the peripheral it was made for. Shadows of the Empire, the video game, is part of the Shadows of the Empire multimedia project, an idea to tell the story of the events between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi outside of a conventional motion picture. After an incredible opening level at the Battle of Hoth that sees you taking down AT-ATs in a snowspeeder, Shadows of the Empire becomes a frustrating third or first person action game with poor aiming, boring enemies, and mediocre level design. Throw in an autosave system that results in you beginning a level again after falling to the boss, and it's a recipe for broken N64 controllers and the prequel films. Seriously, Shadows of the Empire is largely credited with increasing awareness of Star Wars, so Lucas could make the prequels. Okay, it's time to make the jump to Lightspeed. Star Wars Demolition, released on PS1. Star Wars Demolition was made on the Vigilante 8 engine. It lets you run a Rancor into the Millennium Falcon. It ran like balls and made me feel like I'd been kicked in them after I spent another $99, birthday ones this time, on Destruction Derby in space. Star Wars Obi-Wan. Originally announced for PC, then changed to an Xbox exclusive, much to the annoyance of the PC crowd, Star Wars Obi-Wan had a cool right-stick control scheme for lightsaber control, and not much of anything else, much to the delight of the slighted PC community. Super Bombad Racing. It's a particularly mediocre Mario Kart, but with a Star Wars on it again, that uses a word spoken by Jar Jar Binks in its title. Why? Star Wars Jedi Arena. I would like to point out that I am refraining from making the joke that this game should have been called Dick Wagon the video game. Alright, I've got to stop, this is bumming me out, and I know I've missed a bunch. So what did you guys tell me your biggest Star Wars regret, be it video game, film, or even just overpriced merchandise related? And I'll see you next time, there's a bunch of mediocre stuff to play.